This is a really awesome new multi-tool by GHK. This is known as the GHK. This is the 17AS. And this just recently popped up on AliExpress. And I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at because the primary thing that caught my attention was this, a locking bit driver. Imagine the novelty of that on a half tool. Essentially, this is really nice, and I really like this skeleton version of it. Now, some people may say, well, I wonder how durable it will be. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to probably take this to work and try it out for several weeks. Now, we'll get into the specifics, but first of all, I wanted to mention the price. This is only $25. Now, the Gerber armbar is really good as well. It's probably still my favorite small design overall, just because I love the bit driver and I love the different versions and the colors and the hammer on the end. But one of the annoying things is that it doesn't lock, and I really wish it did, but it doesn't. And so that is frustrating. Now, there's the slim versions and there's the regular versions, but these have crept up in price to where some of these are around $50 on Amazon, and you can get these on Blade HQ for $20 or so on sale different times, depending on the different version. Maybe not this version especially, but some kind of Gerber armbar. I went over to Amazon and I saw this model for $45. The updated Gerber armbar trade with the pocket clip is $53 now. Isn't that crazy? But this comes in at $25. Now, what do you get for $25? Well, for $25, we get the pocket clip, and then we get every single tool is locking. Now, I think that's a huge deal. I really am fascinated by this design. Now, you will notice that this is a little bit wider than the Gerber armbar, but it's about one layer wider. So it's not, I don't think it's awful. I thought it would be far wider, extreme amount, but it doesn't seem to be. Now, I'm not quite sure. I really wish they hadn't done this, but it's not really affecting the tool. It's just because selfishly, I wanted to mod this tool and make something really cool out of it. And what they've done is they've added this like plastic piece right here with this window glass breaker, and they did not bring the metal all the way up here, which is unfortunate because if they had, I could have perhaps made a plier tool out of this, which would have been interesting. But they have a glass breaker right here. I really do like the design of this tool overall. I think it's pretty cool. They have the scissors, which lock into place right there. Let's go ahead and try the scissors. Now, these do seem a little bit thin. I don't have huge high hopes for these. I have not tried these out. This tool just showed up in the mail today, actually. As with many of my reviews, this is more of a first review, and then later on I may do another review where I sort of update you on the tool. And sometimes I'll do that and include it in a review of another tool. So that's why it's important to really watch all the videos if you want to know how each tool performs. It does seem like it cuts through the rubber fine. Now, it is binding up a little bit on this seat belt, but if you keep at it, yeah, you can cut through there. And let's try the paracord. Not clean cut, but it will cut through the paracord. And then the zip tie, it will cut through the zip tie. Let's see, maybe. Yeah, so if you hold these, that seems to be the new thing. If you hold these scissors tightly together, it does cut. A lot of people talk about lateral motion, holding the scissors just right. To be honest, if we're cutting paracord, I just wish the scissors would cut paracord. I don't want to have to hold the scissors a certain way. This is a small tool, it's a half tool. The scissors are not the best I've ever tried, but they are pretty good for what they are. Again, keep in mind that this is a $25 tool. This isn't $40, $50, $60. This is a $25 tool. So the scissors seem to perform okay on that side. And then we have this knife, also locks into place. All these just have this more of a Gerber design lock here. I feel like a lot of this tool is designed a little bit to mimic Gerber, but it's definitely different enough. We've already talked about this 1/4-inch bit driver. Now this must have a magnet. Yes, I can feel the magnet in the bottom. With these bit drivers, either they have a ball detent or they have a magnet on the bottom, and this one has the magnet. I would assume you could probably use normal 1/4-inch bits, but let's go ahead and grab some and test it out. All right, so I got a normal 1/4-inch bit. You can use it, but you may have a little bit more problem with it falling into there, and it may be a little difficult to pull some of these out. I didn't have a huge trouble. I didn't have that much trouble with it. Some people will add a magnet so that it sticks up a little bit further and then it sits in there. It's up to you what you want to do with that. I really like that bit driver though, so I'll have to test that out at work. And to access these other tools, or the other tool, it's this multi-use tool right here, and it has a wire stripper, a can opener, and a bottle opener right there. Pretty minimalist tool. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out about this design that fascinates me is essentially what we have here is a completed Gerber armbar, which is a great idea, to be honest. So the normal Gerber armbar has an outside tool and inside tools. And what they've done is they have made 2 outside tools, and then they've made 2 inside tools that all lock on the same lock. Now, how Gerber did it is they actually, let's see, they had inside tools, and then the outside tool was the only locking one. So the knife would be the locking tool on here. But yeah, I think that's really fascinating. So here they are, all on a lock mechanism. And I don't know, we haven't seen at least yet any plier-based version, because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put the bit driver in where normally like a plier would go, and just sell it a half of a multi-tool, essentially a plier-based multi-tool. But this is a new design that I have not seen yet. Now, if you have seen a full version, I'd be really interested, but I think this is a standalone design at the moment. It comes in this green, avocado green is what they're calling it, and then a phantom black, I believe. $25. Now let's go ahead and bring in the scale here. I want to weigh both the Gerber armbar and this GHK. We'll weigh the GHK, comes in at 4.2 ounces, and then the Gerber at 3.2. So it's about 1 ounce more. And then we'll move this over to grams, 120 grams. And the Gerber comes in at 89 grams. But remember, this tool has 1 extra outside tool on it. All these are outside accessible, but almost like an outside scale tool. Now, I think this is probably one of the better alternatives to the Gerber armbar. I know that Nextool and Roxxon are making some fantastic sort of multi-tools that will compete with Gerber and Victorinox, but I think this from GHK is really, really great. The big selling point coming in at $25. Make sure to keep watching the channel. I plan to give an update on this in a month or so after I've carried this to work for several weeks and let you know how it's working out.